Hello everyone, welcome back to InnoScript. So we are back with another video in the Capgemini pseudocode series. So without wasting any time, let's move to the very first question. And the first question says that we are given a function fun with two parameter x and y, and this fun is recursively calling to itself with the parameter x comma y minus 1. And in the options are given in the form of x and y. So let's try to run this code by taking some values. So let's say x is equals to 5 and y is equals to 3. Fine. So x is equals to 5 and y equals to 3. When this function call will be made with fun 5 comma 3, so first this statement will be executed, and it says that if y is equals to 0, return 0. But here we have y which is 3. So this will get false and we'll move to the next statement. So it says that return x plus fun x comma y minus 1. So it says what we have to return, x, that is 5, plus fun x which is 5, and y minus 1 is 2. Now this fun 5 comma 2 is again executed, and it will check for the very first statement. If y equals to 0, return 0, which is false. Then we'll move directly to the second statement, return x plus fun x comma y minus 1. So it will again give 5 plus fun 5 comma 1. And similarly here y is not equals to 0. So again one call will be made, which is fun 5 comma 0. Okay, so now the value of y has become 0. So when y equals to 0, return 0. So what this function call will receive? 0, because the returned value will be 0 for this function. So it will receive 0. So 5 plus 0 will be 5, and this 5 will be returned to this one. So here it becomes 5 plus 5, which is 10. So again this 10 will be returned to this one, and 5 plus 10 will be 15, and then this 15 will be returned to the actual answer. So we have fun 5 comma 3 is equals to 15. Now let's try to see what are the options. So first option is x plus y. So we have x is equals to 5 and y equals to 3. So x plus y will be 8, which is not equals to 15. So this can't be the answer. Second option says x into x plus y, which will be 5 into 5, that is 25, plus 3 will be 28. So 28 is also not equals to 15. So this also can't be our answer. Now coming to this one, which says that x into y. So x is 5, y is 3. So it will become 5 into 3, that is 15. So yeah, this should be the answer. So let's see what is the correct answer. So yeah, the correct answer is x into y. Now coming to the next question, we have, so we have 4 variable, I equals to 0, j is equals to 1, k equals to 2, and then we have l. So what are the variable? I equals to 0, j equals to 1, and k equals to 2. Fine. Now second statement says that l can be calculated by performing this function. So what this function is? This function says that increment I, but this is post increment. So first the value will come, which is 0, and then the increment operation will be performed. So it will become 1. So when the first argument of OR operation is 0, we always calculate the second argument. Fine. So second argument says that we are passing address of j and k. So this is basically called by reference, and the address of j and k will be received by these two variables, that is a and b. So a will be holding the address, let's say address of j is 100 and address of k is 200. So a will be holding 100 and b will be holding 200. Fine. Now first statement of this function says sum is equals to the value at address a and the value at address the sum of value at address a and the value at address b. So the value at address 100 is 1 and the value at address 200 is 2. So sum will be 3. Fine. Now second statement says update the value at B with the value at A. So value at A is, value at 100 is 1, so update it with 1. Fine. Now third statement says return and update the value at A. So first we will update the value at location A and then we will return. So sum minus address value at B. Sum is 3 and the value at B location is, at location 200 is 1. So it will become 2 and we will update the location 100 with this value, that will become 2. Fine. Okay. So we received 2, 0 or 2, which will give us non-zero value, and since the value is non-zero, L will receive 1. L will receive 1. So now the third statement says that print I, J, K and L. I, J, K and L. So I is 1, J is 2, K is also 1, L is also 1. So 1, 2 and 1, 1. So the answer is 1, 2, 1, 1. Coming to the third question, it says us to find the time complexity for the code given. Okay. So first statement is a simple statement which doesn't take any time. Now we have two for loops. Fine. So when we are given nested for loops, we must check whether the for loops are dependent or independent. Okay, so what are dependent for loops and what are independent for loops? Dependent for loops are the one that share some variable between them. That means the execution of one for loop is dependent on the other for loop. Independent means both the for loops will execute separately. So let's see whether the for loops are dependent or independent. So first for loop says I will start from n by 2 and goes to n. Second for loop says j will start from 2 and goes to n. So there is no dependency. Second for loop doesn't depend on the first one. J will always start from 2 and goes to n. Fine. So let's see. So when two loops are independent, we directly calculate the time complexity for the outer one and the time complexity for the inner one, and we just simply multiply them. So the first for loop will give us will run n by 2 times. So it will be n by 2 times, and the second one will execute, let's say how many times it will get executed. So it will start from 2 is less than n, condition true. It will come to this statement and then it will go to this one. So it will be it will update the value of j by j into 2, which will become 4. 4 is also less than equals to n, so it will again update the value by 8. Again it will be the condition will be checked and the condition is true, so again the value will be updated. So let's say this will goes to n, and this is basically a series 2, 4, 8, 16. Let's say the last term of this series is 2 to the power k. So 2 to the power k will be equals to n, since it will go to n. Now taking log both the sides with base 2, it will become log 2 to the power k log 2n. So now using the property of log, we will be getting log 2n and it will be 1. So k will become log 2n. Fine. So the second loop will execute log n times. Fine. So n by 2 into log n. So this is basically constant, we can ignore this. So the time complexity will be n log n. The correct answer for this one is n log n. Coming to the fourth question. Okay, so the fourth question says we are given an input 5, 7, 12, 4 and 0, 4 and so on. Now we are directly jumping to the pseudocode. So pseudocode says that create a queue. So let's make this queue. Okay, so this is our queue, and create a stack, and this is our stack. Okay, so loop until we reach end of file, or we can say end of input, last one. Fine. So it says that read the number. So what is the number? 5 is the number. Now after reading the number, we'll come to this if statement. If 5 is not equals to 0, push S and number. That means if the number is not equals to 0, we are supposed to push that number into the stack. So we are pushing 5 into the stack. Then okay, so else will not be executing this time. Again 7 will encounter, we'll read the 7, 7 is not equals to 0 and we'll push it into the stack. Again 12, 12 is also not equals to 0, 12 will be pushed into the stack. 4 will also will be pushing 4 into the stack since 4 is not equals to 0. Now coming to 0. So now we encountered 0. So number is equals to 0, so this will become false. Now coming to this else part. So this else part says pop S. We have popped 4. Again pop S, 12 will be popped. And now it says that loop until stack is not empty. So pop it. Now it says pop it, store it into the X, into a variable X, and then enqueue it into the Q. So we'll pop 7. 7 will come to this X variable and then we'll enqueue this 7. So we have enqueued 7, pointer will be here, increment, it will get incremented and 7 will be enqueued, and now it is incremented. Now again 5 will be popped, and now pointer was at 7, now it will first increment and then 5 will be enqueued. Okay, again when this else part is completed, now coming to this one. Now 4 is encounter. So 4 is basically, 4 is non-zero, 4 is not equals to 0, so 4 will be pushed into stack, 8 will be pushed into stack, 67 will be pushed into stack, 34 will be pushed into stack, 23 will be pushed into stack, and 5 will be pushed into stack. Now 0 is encounter. So when 0 is encounter, it says pop 2 times. So 5 and 23 will be popped, and then all the values will be enqueued into the queue. So 34, 67, 8 and 4. Fine. Now 44 is encountered. So they, first of all we popped these values and then we enqueued these values into the queue. Now 44 is encountered, 33, 22 and 6, and then we have encountered 0. 0 is the last term, last value of this input. So yeah, when we come across this 0, it will pop twice. So 6 and 22 will be popped out, and now we'll loop until stack is not equals to empty. It will pop the value and enqueue into the queue. So it will pop 33, enqueue it into the queue. It will pop 44 and enqueue it into the queue. Okay, so question was asking in context of the queue. So we have to basically tell what will be the content of the queue after execution of this code. So 7, 5, okay, 5 is not there, 7 is not there, 7, 5, 34, 67, 8 and 4 is not in the list, so it cannot be the answer. 7, 5, 34, 67, 8, 4, 33 and 44. So D will be the answer. Now let's move to the next question, which is question number 5. So in the question number 5, we are given 4 variables I, J, K and N. J is 1, K is also 1. So now there is a for loop which says that I will start from 1 and it will go to I equals to 5. So I will start from 1 and go to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And now in the for loop there are 3 statements. First statement says print the value of K, then update the value of J by J plus 1 and update the value of K by K plus J. So we have to print K. This is basically what we have to print. Then update the value of J and K. So this is basically updation. So in the first, when I equals to 1, we'll print K. K is 1. So print k equals to 1. Now update j by j plus 1. So j equals to 1, update it with 2, and now k will be updated with k plus j. K is 1, j is 2, and the value will be 3. Now again when I equals to 2, it says that print the value of k. So let's print the value of k. K is basically 3. So let's print it. 3. Now update the value of j by j plus 1. So it will become 3. And now update the value of k by k plus j. So 3 plus 3 will be 6. When I becomes 3, again the value of k will be printed and j and k will be updated. So the table will look like something like this. And now what will be the output of this code? The ones written inside the print statement. So we were printing k, so this should be our answer. 1, 3, 6, 10 and 15. 1, 3, 6, 10 and 15. So answer should be first. So let's see what is the correct answer. So yeah, the answer is 1, 3, 6, 10 and 15. Okay. Now we have another question, and in this question we have 5 variables. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So A is 10, B is 3, C is 2, D is 4, and then result. So in the result we have a simple expression with arithmetic operators. Fine. So we have precedences like this: multiply, divide and modulus have higher precedence than plus and minus. Fine. Okay. So they have higher precedence than plus and minus, but the associativity for multiply, divide and modulo is left to right, and for plus and minus also it is left to right. Fine. So we'll start from the left and we'll calculate one by one. So first we'll start from this. So 10. Okay, let's write the expression by putting the values. Okay, so the expression is 10 plus 10 into minus 3 divided by 2 modulo 4 plus 2 into 4. So first we'll calculate multiply, divide and modulo, and the associativity will be left to right. Fine. So 10 plus, it will give us 30 divided by 2 modulo 4 plus 2 into 4, that is 8. So 10 minus 15 modulo 4 plus 8. So 10 minus, when we'll divide 15 by 4, the modulo will be 3 plus 8. Now simple arithmetic operation, 10 plus 8 will be 18, 18 minus 3 will be 15. So answer should be 15. Moving towards the next question. Okay, so this is basically based on the structure and the pointers. So we are given a structure which basically contains a string or the character array, an integer value and a pointer to the node of type itself, a pointer of type node. Fine. So now coming towards the main function. Main function has an array of type node. So we have 4 entries inside the array, and each is holding a string, an integer value and an address to some other node. Fine. So let's make this array. So we have made the array, and array was holding Z, I, P. Fine. And we were supposed to print this one. So there was n was the base address of this array, and the first node, first entry, first index was holding n plus 1, then n plus 2, then n plus 3 and then n. So it is n plus 1, this is n plus 2, this is n plus 3 and this is n. So these were the addresses that were held by variable p for each of the index of the array. Fine. Now the question says us to print these values. Okay. So let's try to understand what basically these values are. So it says that n0 dot z. So we are supposed to print these three values, and the first value is n0 dot z. n0 dot z means z string at 0th index. So what is the string, z string at 0th index? It is InnoScript, so it will be InnoScript. Second says ptr z. So it is basically saying print the z string at the location ptr, and ptr was equals to n, and n is basically the base address, so ptr is also pointing to this base address. Now it is saying print the z string at ptr location. So at 2000 the z string is InnoScript, so it will again print InnoScript. And the third one says n3.p and z. So it is basically saying go to the location n3, that is the third index, 0, 1, 2 and 3, and n3.p is basically 2000. So now it says that print the z string at location 2000. So at location 2000 the z string is again InnoScript. So the output should be InnoScript, InnoScript, InnoScript 3 times. Now this is the last question, and it is similar to the previous one. So basically in this question we have a structure which is holding the same values as the previous one, a character array, an integer value I, and the pointer to the node, right? So according to this question we are given an array of nodes which is holding 4, basically there are 4 values inside the array. Now we have a node ptr, and ptr is holding the base address of this node. The ptr is holding the base address of this array n, which is of type node. And now we have a for loop. Okay, so the for loop is basically, let's see what this for loop says. This for loop says j will start from 0 and it will go to 3. So 0, 1, 2 and 3. So it will run for these values of j. And now we have two print statement, and for each of the iteration it is working the similar way. So minus minus nz dot I and plus plus nz dot z. So basically these are the values that will be printed by this for loop, and there is a next line. Fine. So let's see how we can proceed with this one. Okay, so basically these are the two print statement that needs to be printed by the code. Fine. So it says, okay, j will start from 0, 1, 2 and 3. J will start from 0 and go till j equals to 3. Fine. So it says that print first value as n0 dot I, and then we have a decrement, pre-decrement. So first we'll go to the 0th location. 0th location is basically this one. This is the 0th location, and now it says that at 0th location go to the value of I, which is 1, and then decrement it. So the value will become 0, and the printed value, since it is a pre-decrement, the value returned will be the updated one. So it will give 0. Okay, now the second statement says first go to the location n0, and at n0 go to z. That means at n0 we have reached this n0, and then go to z. Z is basically InnoScript, and at InnoScript incremented by 1. So it is 0, it is 1. So this string will be printed. So NNOSKRIT. Now it says that j has become 1. So we will go to 1th location, ith value, and then we will decrement it. So 1th location is this one, 1th index is this one, and at ith value is 2 and then decremented by 1, so it will become 1. Now again it says go to n1 first index dot z. Z is basically this is, and then increment it by 1, so it is 0 and 1, so it will print s. Second says, okay, similarly it will work for j equals to 2 and j equals to 3. It will go to this second location, decrement it by 1 and then return it, and then it will increment z by 1, so it will become 0 1, so it will be s. Again it will be 3 and it will start from LACE, so 3 and LACE. That means it is decrementing the value of I by 1 and incrementing the value of z by 1. So the correct answer should be B. I hope all the questions are clear, and I would suggest try to practice more and more questions so that your concepts will become more clear. That's all for this video. Let's meet in the next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.